Okay, for the next lesson, you guys will learn about how to compare and order fractions. Okay, it's in your book B on page 8 and page 9 that I'm going to show you. In this one. Oops, wrong one. Sorry. Let's see. Okay, yes. They say it is easier to compare fractions if they have the same denominator. Example, I have 2 out of 5, 3 out of 5. If I compare which one is bigger, they have the same denominator, 5 and 5. Of course, 3 out of 5 is bigger because 3 is bigger than number 2. So because they have the same denominator, so it's easy for you to just take a look at it and tell the answer quickly. But if the denominators are not the same, we need to change them to equivalent fractions with a common denominator. Like example, you have 2 out of 3 and then 4 out of, let's say, 1. So you see denominator is different. One is 2 out of 3, another one is 6 out of 1. So it's completely different for denominator. So you need to like equivalent the fractions to find the common denominator. Common denominator means the same denominator, the same value. So to do this, you need to know the lowest common multiple for each denominator. Example, they ask you, which is larger fraction? 3 over 4, 5 or 3 over 4? 5 and 4 denominator are not the same. They're not a common denominator. One is 5 and one is 4, completely different. One different. So you need, in order to change this again based on this information and what we learned as well, you need to make sure denominator are the same. So how can you make denominator the same? You need to equivalent it. I mean, you need to time with like the same number. You need to time denominator and denominator with the same number and make sure you get the same denominator, like the common denominator of those two fractions. Example here, they get 3 out of 5, 3 out of 4. So they decided to time with 4 because when 5 times with 4 equals 20, 4 times with 5 also equals 20. So that you can find common denominator. If you decided to time 5 by 2, 10, but 4 by 2 is 8. So it's not you cannot find the common denominator. So but make sure you find the lowest common multiple, like common multiple one to get like common denominator. Yes. So here they decided to time the first fraction with number 4 and then the second fraction with number 5. And again, when you time or equivalent or even reduce to the simplest form, you need when denominator you need to time or divide by the same number. Yeah, the same number. So here 3 times 4 is 12. 5 times 4 is 20. This one 15 and 20. Right now you have another fraction, which is means 3 over 5 equals 12 over 20. 3 over 4 here equals 15 over 20. So now they have the same denominator, or you can call as common denominator, and you can compare the fraction already. 15 and 12, which one is biggest? Of course, 12. So again, 15 here equals 3 over 4. So 3 over 4, of course, is greater or bigger than 3 over 5. See, this is the original fraction. This is the fraction, the equivalent fraction. Okay. Exercise number 1. Write smaller than, bigger than, or equal between each pair of fractions. So we have letter A and letter H, and one letter they have pairs of a fraction, and they want you to compare if they are smaller, this one smaller than this one, or bigger than one, or they are equal. I don't know. We have to do it. So remember to change them to equivalent fractions. So the last lesson you learn how to change fraction to equivalent already, but this one make sure you between these two fractions you find the common denominator, I mean the same denominator. So I can do this one for you, and the rest you can do it by yourself. 2 out of 3, 5 out of 6. The common denominator would be 6 because 3 times 2 equals 6, and 6 here I don't need to time with any number because it's 6 already, and if I just time 3 by 2, I can find the common denominator already is 6. So here time with 2, 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 3 is 6, so 4 over 2, of course, 5 over 6 is bigger than 2 over 3. See? And the rest you can do it by yourself, and you can get out your notebook or paper and try to do it step by step. Don't just say I'm good at it, I can just do it quickly, or don't just guess the signal and put it just like for fun. No, please. Okay. Number 2, find the common denominators for these fractions. So we have A, we have 2 over 7, 4 over 5, 1 over 2. They don't have common denominators. So you need to find the common denominator of all of these fractions for letter A, C, B, C until letter H. And then you're starting to order them. You start with the smallest one, and then you can write the original fraction in order too. So first of all, when you do this exercise, you can do it in the notebook. Letter A, you do it in another paper first. You find like equivalent fraction. Make sure 3 of that fraction they have the common denominator, and then you will rank those fractions in your book that you write the answer. Like start from the smallest one, and then you put the original fraction. Start from the smallest one too, but not based on this number. It's based on the equivalent fraction. So you can put equivalent fraction in the bracket, and the original fraction here you can just put it normal but under the equivalent fraction. So then I can tell which one is equivalent fraction, which one is original fraction. Again, equivalent fraction in this exercise for A, B, C, D, E until letter H, they must have the common fraction. Otherwise, you cannot compare which one is smallest or biggest or the medium one. This one, word problems. Here, answer this question problems. A market store has the same number of oranges and lemons to sell. After an hour, 5 out of 8 of his oranges are sold and 7 out of 12 of his lemons are sold. Which fruit has sold the most? When you have to compare like sorry, which one have sold the most? So it's just similar to this kind of exercise for letter F, like bigger or smaller, but it depends on the question as well. So read by yourself out loud, not scream, and you can find out the answer, and we can discuss the answer all together. So try this. You don't have to do it because there's a lot of work for you to do with this with today's lesson already. Okay, thank you.